Hey guys, welcome to a new analyze of Starcraft 2 replay. Today I have Jonathan Belke beside me. It's DarKFoRcE, a well-known Zerg. He's one of the top Zergs coming from Germany, and he played some Qualifier on the US server actually today on the 31st October, and he played with Soccer's account because he got a US account. Yeah, nice to have this game and nice to have you here still at my place. I would say we just start the game at this moment, and you can tell us a little bit about the game, about the strategy, why did you decide to do some stuff, and what could you have done better or your opponent. So tell me a little bit about the qualifier. What exactly was it?
Well, it was for the Root Warzone tourney, but unfortunately in the last round I would have needed to win. I lost to some 2 barracks bunker rush twice in a row, and yeah, I guess I need to practice against that. I haven't seen that before against the hedge first, so I was unprepared, and yeah, it definitely caught me off guard. And yeah, well, I just lost 2 games to that, and then it was over. But well, it's not the end of the world.
Did you ever hear of KawaiiRice?
Yeah, actually, I think he's. I'm not exactly sure, but he's supposedly one of the better Terrans on the US server. But well, maybe I'm lacking some respect for the Americans, and well, yeah, I definitely do. I'm not a big fan of his play, to be honest. But well, I also modified my play a little, so I play a little safer and don't try to go for like the maximum drones and build a little more defense early on, because I'm very comfortable that I can win a macro game against him. I'm sending 2 drones. Well, I'm not sure what the best timing to scout is, but I think I do need to scout. So I just do it when I want to place down the hatchery. So if there's an SCV blocking the spot for the hatchery, I have 2 drones down at the same time, so I can kill the SCV faster. And well, that's why I send 2 drones at once, and then scout with the other drone and with the first one, or depending on the mineral count, I build with one the hatchery and the other one is to scout. And yeah, I just check what if there's a tech lab on the barracks. If there are 2 barracks, then I just turn around immediately. There's not really anything to see inside his base. I mean, of course I could check if he took gas or if he is playing without gas, but then I definitely lose the drone if I check for the gas. And well, Terran is taking gas pretty much every single time, or well, almost, and so I don't think it's really worth to sacrifice the drone. I could also do a gas steal, but most Terrans these days play a pretty early expansion with like Hellion Marine or just Marine, and well, so they don't really take the second gas very early anyway, so it's a waste of 1 drone and some minerals to actually steal the gas.
So after you've seen there's no tech lab or reactor on the barrack, what do you change or don't change in your style?
So if I see a tech lab, I'm very careful if he's trying to build a bunker near my natural, and if I don't see a tech lab, I just do my usual build. I build drones to 17, and then I build the overlord at 16, then 1 more drone, and then when the overlord wait a second, when the pool is done, I get one pair of zerglings and the queen, and then I just build 2 more drones, and then I build 1 queen, and then I'm at 24 supply. Then I get an overlord, and then before I get the overlord, I get the link speed, and then I get the overlord, and like that. And
okay, so soon we should get the overlord in the game.
Yeah, well, now we are already 31,
we did.
but yeah, I should be getting another overlord at around 31 or 32. Anyway, I see it's quite a bit of a mistake. He didn't kill the Zergling at the watchtower, so I could see exactly that he's coming there. And I should have built a few more, maybe like 1 or 2 more pairs of links earlier. So with this attack, he's doing a little more damage than I would like him to do, but still it's not that bad. I mean, now I have to fight with my slow Zerglings. Maybe I shouldn't have chased him off the creep. That was probably a mistake. I should have just stayed on the creep and waited for him to come. I'm obviously microing the queen back, so he doesn't get killed. And now he's doing a mistake with his Hellier, and it gets surrounded by the Zerglings, or like half surrounded. And yeah, he definitely could have microed better there and did more damage. But anyway, after this first attack, it didn't kill my queen, and it didn't kill any drones, so it was more or less a fail, because I also didn't build like a lot more Zerglings than I needed to. Yeah, maybe we should switch to my perspective. So, well, because I'm mostly explaining for Zerg players here, I can only like comment on the mistakes I also see from the Zerg perspective in the game. So I'm not really, well, I'm not an expert on Terran.
You see the second gas, which is not in use right now.
Oh yeah, now it is.
Okay, now it is. Yeah. When do you go for the second gas? And
well, to be honest, I got my I put the drones back into gas a little too late. That's why I got it earlier. Usually I get the second gas after I start the lair tech at around, well, 50% of the lair tech. I take a little, depending on what the Terran does. I take 1 or 2 more gas. If he did a fast expansion, I even take 4 gas. I mean all 4 gas. But yeah, it always depends a little on how many drones I'm pumping, and then I decide if I take 1 or 2 more, or sometimes even 3 more while taking to lair.
now you're going for a Baneling nest and
Yeah, exactly.
pumping out a lot of drones. You're on 40
Yeah, of
right
course.
now.
Yeah, I saw that he with the I ran a link up the ramp, and there's also there's a mistake by the Terran. I saw that he built a command center inside his base, and that he had 2 tanks. So I was very sure that he would be going for a passive expansion with siege tanks and not some aggressive style. And yeah, now I'm attacking his back door, and he doesn't have a supply depot there, which is a big mistake. I mean, losing that back door early on is just a very, very big handicap for the Terran. And yeah.
So what about the creep tumors? When do you need them?
Well,
how many do you need?
I usually with the first 2 queens, I always use 1 queen to place down a creep tumor immediately, and then use the other one for a inject. Sometimes I forget that, to be honest. And well, then at around 35 to 40 supply, I always get a 3rd queen to defend against banshees and to spread more creep.
So now we see the Baneling.
Yeah, that's.
Attack?
I thought he didn't know I'm coming, and that's why I ran the Banelings in first.
Ouch.
Yeah, and that was obviously that was pretty good for him. But yeah, I didn't want to run the Lynx in first because then he would have had more time to draw away his SCVs. But yeah, that was quite a loss for me. But still, his opening was definitely not optimal, with letting me know that he is going to expand very passively with tanks so easily. I mean, I just ran a link up the ramp. I didn't even have to sacrifice an overload to get that intel. Well, which is, in my opinion, well, it's a big mistake, and he doesn't know that he was whining about Zerg between games. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if he would think about it more, maybe he would improve and not whine so much. That's also one of the reasons why I don't really respect him a whole lot.
When's the best time to expand a 2nd or a 3rd time?
I usually get the 3rd expansion. It's so dependent on situation, but in this situation he built tanks very early, so he decided to definitely stay passive for some time, and that's why I immediately got the 3rd expansion. I usually get the 3rd going against bio once I have my first 2 saturated, and then I get a 3rd, and then depending on if he is pushing soon, then I just use the 3rd for lava to get more lengths, or if he's staying very passive, then I pump more drones. It depends a little on how the game flow is, etc. It's hard to like give a general rule of thumb for that.
Yeah. And here we go. But yeah, you told us that he built up a lot of tanks early, but right now he's, well, pushing out a little, like moving, and yeah, as it seems, he's trying to attack. What do you think right now in this situation?
Yeah, well, I was actually quite scared, to be honest, because if he takes the watchtower and gets a fortified position at the watchtower with maybe 2 missile turrets, then it's I'm in big trouble, because he is basically controlling both expansions on my side. I can't really transfer my army, and that's why I think it's a big mistake. Well, maybe not a big mistake, but maybe he shouldn't have pulled back all his army. He should have taken like 1 group of marines, like 10 or something like that, and killed my 3rd base, and then maybe move the rest back. But the Terran shouldn't just like move around in one big blob all the time. I mean, he could have easily killed my third base, and that would have hurt me quite a lot. I mean, maybe he would, of course, he would have lost the Marines, but he has a lot of minerals anyway with his mules.
So your advice to any Zerg player, if the Terran starts a good attack, you should try to attack him.
Yeah,
yourself.
in this kind of situation, you can't engage at the Xel'Naga watchtower. It's such a good position. You really need to counter attack, and that's what I did. And then he immediately moved back to defend, which, well, he shouldn't have moved everything back. And now he's well, I can't engage off creep, and now he's going on top of the creep, and now he should move back. He should move back. And wait till the creep starts to decay, or well, till it's not there anymore. Because on the creep, my banelings are faster than his stim marines, I think. And now I saw that he unsieged most of his tanks, and then that's why I moved in. And I made shift commands for my Mutalisk to attack his tanks, and then I just moved my banelings around in his army. And he even reacted like 1 second late, which is like an instant loss in this kind. He has to react immediately, and he might have won the fight if he had spread his marines very well and focus fired the banelings with his tanks, but well, he didn't do anything for like a second, and he was standing on top of the creep, which is, well, it's just such a big mistake. And well, yeah.
To defend your expansion, I've seen the spine crawler. What's the perfect way to expand this to defend a second or third base?
Well, I mean, if you have one spine crawler, at least he can't annoy you with like 1 or 2 Hellions, or like if he drops a small group of Marines, you have like a few more seconds to react and send some mutas or lings or whatever there, and that's why I often get like 1 or 2 spine crawlers on my third base. Oh no, I'm a split second of not watching my mutas, and I already lost like 2. But anyway, yeah, now I'm just flying around with my Mutalisk. I'm trying to pick off tanks. And I'm expanding twice because I have like 1k overmints, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, that's why I expanded twice, because before I put down those hedges, I had a lot of overmints, and so I just expand more, and yeah, to get rid of all my resources. And now I'm running in some links into his main, because he was taking down the destructible rocks at his third base. So and that's the reason why it's such a big handicap for him to lose his backdoor early in the game, because I can just run in links when he's not defending his backdoor, and it's a big annoyance. Oh, he's actually losing a tank there, which is very good for me. I mean, I'm just using minerals in this little attack, and I think I'm actually picking off some tanks with my mutas. Can you go? Yeah, actually, I think I got like 2 tanks here already. No, I think I got 1, and now in the second. And he doesn't
even the third. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm losing a few too many mutas, but it was lagging a little on the US server, so I have good excuses. But anyway, yeah. He left his tanks undefended. He shouldn't have moved his whole army back. It's just the typical one control group syndrome, as Day 9 calls it, and it's true. Like, well, people need to stop sending all their army for like a, well, small Harris. I mean, it's not exactly small, but he doesn't need his whole army, and he can still clear it off without losing many units. And yeah, well, if he then leaves his tank in the open, or only with like 1 or 2 missile turrets, then I can just trade my mutas against his tanks, and that's a very good trade, because I'm ahead in resources. So I just need to make sure he doesn't get a critical mass of tanks, because then I have a problem. But as long as I keep his tank count low, it's all fine.
What about the groupings? What do you prefer to? How do you prefer your units?
Yeah, well, I have on group 1 I have all Zerglings and all Banelings. On group 2 I have all my Mutalisks, and on group 3 I have my all my Banelings again. And on group 4 I would, if I get Infestors, I would put them on group 4. Or maybe on group 1, it depends a little. I started to prefer to put them on just 1, and then just do like 2 fungals and then don't care about them. Yeah, that was just stupid of him to stay on top of the creep. Real Terran needs to learn to kill the creep when he wants to attack. He can't fight on creep with bio. It just doesn't work. And now I just run in some links again. So
so what's your aim with that? Just kicking some depots?
Just kill some depots, some SCVs, and distract him a little. So well, because I wanted to kill his third base at the gold minerals with my Baneling. Actually, what am I doing there? I should have just killed the command center with all banelings. But I guess I decided to just kill it with links and not waste the banelings. I probably felt ahead very far, so I didn't want to use like 20 banelings and then maybe die to some kind of counter attack. I mean, the game's already kind of over at this point. After I mean, his key mistake was to fight on top of creep and to unsiege too many tanks at the same time, and yeah, and well, lose his backdoor very early on.
What about the upgrades for your Zerglings?
Well, I usually after I placed my Spire and got a few muters, I get 2 evolution chambers at once, and then I start just upgrading all the time. I just get both upgrades usually. Sometimes I prefer attack over the defense upgrade if I have to pick which one to get first, but usually I just get both. And I rarely upgrade with 1 evolution chamber. I either do 2 or none.
So yeah, well, 122 supply left for the Terran player against 172, and you're on 5 bases right now.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's pretty much over. One mistake I just noticed is I didn't upgrade my Mutalisks early on. I'm just now upgrading the armor. Oh, and yeah, I got Burrow for the banelings. That's actually a small mistake. I should have borrowed a group of 2 and not of 3, but yeah, it's still quite good. But anyway, now I don't know. Doesn't really require a lot of skill right now to finish him off.
How exactly do you micro these units? Just go in front, or?
I do 1, then A1, 1A, 2A, and then I switch to 3 and then micro the banelings. Or if he has a lot of tanks, or if I think I need to control my Mutalisks, first I send in all Zerglings and banelings, and then I select the Mutalisks, make waypoints on all the tanks with shift, so the Mutalisks just attack the tanks and not the Marines, because that's, well, if they chase after the Marines kill the Mutalisks and the tank kill the rest of my army, which is not what I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I very often do waypoints on all the tanks with the Mutalisks, and well, then just go to group 3, and for the rest of the fight I basically control my banelings, so I can well, send them into the Marines, so they don't get tanked by the Marauders.
So you really try to get all the Marines before you attack the Marauder with your banelings?
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I pretty much never try to kill Marauders with Marines, because, well, when there are no Marines left, then the Muters can finish off the rest.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jonathan, for your analysis of this game. It was one game on the US server. You played some Qualifier. KawaiiRice was his name. Well, this was a win for you, and we for sure gonna cast one more for you. So hope you enjoyed it, and also like the next one.
Yeah. Maybe we want to cast a replay, right?
Yes.
Of yeah. What do we want to do next?
Whatever you want, we are fine. We have
we can do cool against Boxer at the BlizzCon.
Okay, we do that. So I hope you're gonna enjoy the next replay too. So thank you for watching.